Apparently, it's been 21 weeks since I last set foot into my office. I have been working from home for that long. Working that out made me do some self-reflection and made me look back on the channel a little bit. I also thought it's about time I ask you for some more questions in a Q&A. Welcome back to NSOW Watches. I'm Pete McConville. As I said, doing some self-reflection. Almost half a year working out of this little corner of my garage. I would never have thought that was going to happen. So going back and looking at my channel, and I've realized it's been about 3 months, coming up on 3.5 months since I did a Q&A thing. So I figured it's time to do another one. So please leave your questions in the comments below. I noticed over the last couple of weeks, thanks to a shout out from Adrian, I've got a whole bunch of new subscribers. So yeah, welcome aboard. Thank you so much. I hope I don't let you down. And yeah, leave questions in the comments below. Some other reflections on my channel. You will have noticed that I've made a fair change in direction. Some of the things that I've stopped doing, I've by and large stopped talking about news stuff. I will touch on the odd story here or there where it's particularly interesting and I want to give my opinion on that, where I think I can add some value. But by and large, I got a comment from someone at the end of a video some time ago where it said, yeah, nice video, but at the end of the day they read Watchville too, and so there's nothing much new in there. And that kind of, frankly, that kind of stung. I saw, I think it was Casey Neistat once said that the only negative comments that actually hurt, that actually sting, are the ones which deep down you think yourself are probably true. That one did sting because I had felt that myself. So that has spurred me to do a few things. But the first is, you've noticed I'm not regurgitating stuff that I find on Watchville and other things anymore. Like I said, I'll really talk about only the occasional story every now and then when I think it's particularly interesting, when I think it's particularly useful. I've stopped really talking about other watch media as well, except where it's something particularly notable, like the Hodinkee clock. I think to not talk about the Hodinkee clock is to squeeze between the elephant and the room and the wall of the room, tripping over things, hitting yourself, injuring yourself really badly, and still refusing to acknowledge that there's an elephant in the room. I felt like to not talk about that would have lacked integrity. But by and large, I don't really watch that much watch media anymore. So there's not a lot for me to say. And also there's a few other things that have happened over the last little while where my relationship to watch media and my consumption of that and my thoughts about it have changed a bit. The first is, as a watch, and a lot of this has happened because I've now got some distance between when I was on your side of the camera and now I'm on this side of the camera. Back when I was on your side of the camera and in the early days when I was still watching other YouTubers as if I was, this is going to sound terrible, as if I was one of you, I could get into some of that stuff. What I've found is increasingly I now watch other YouTubers not as something to consume, but as sort of fellow, should I say fellow professionals? Fellow travelers. And so it's less about learning from them in terms of they're telling me stuff I don't know, because quite frankly, I'm probably doing the same research they are. I'm probably on top of whatever it is that they're talking about. So it's more about, I was watching them a little bit to say, what are they doing and how are they doing and what's working for them. But then I've also found that kind of drew me away, seduced me away from what I actually enjoyed doing. So as a result, I've kind of, I don't watch that much more watch media. I dip in and out. If someone's doing a watch review of a watch I'm interested in purchasing, I'll have a look. But yeah, that's really about it. There's really only one channel I watch every single video. In fact, there was two channels where I watch every single video that they come out. The first is Adrian at Bark and Jack. He is not the most knowledgeable, he is not the wisest, he is not the smartest, he doesn't have the deepest history in watches. But that doesn't matter because he knows that. And so when he's doing a video, he walks into it knowing that he's going to have to learn about it. And he walks into it knowing he's going to have to think for himself about what he wants to say, which makes him quite rare. And I really quite enjoy watching that. Most other people seem to just do it they read a spec sheet, do some stuff by memory, and then just chuck in a prejudice out rather than an opinion. So yeah, Adrian is probably the only one I watch religiously these days. The other channel I would watch if they start putting videos out again is Cockbait. Again, I love their stuff. I watch every single video they do, and I sincerely hope that Luke and Anthony come back after the COVID days. If you watch, guys, hope you're all doing well and that you do come back soon. I do listen to a lot of podcasts, and I think that is actually reflecting in how I do these videos. Someone made a comment again on one of my videos some time ago saying I talk too much and it's too much like a podcast. And then that one didn't sting. That one I thought, you know what, I'm okay with that. That's not a criticism. That's fine. That's what I'm going to do from now on. So I talk a lot more. I don't concentrate so much on the images. So why I'm on YouTube, I don't know. So yeah, I love 40 and 20. I love the Scottish Watches guys. I love Two Broke Watch Snobs. Started listening to OT. The Two Cats at 10 and 2. Watchdog, I've started listening to. There's hundreds of them. But yeah, I really I find podcasts far more satisfying than I find watch videos. And yet I run a YouTube channel. So who can say? So you'll notice that sort of change, and that's going to keep going. You'll notice that I've stopped doing a lot of watch reviews, and I'm going into much more subjective kind of what are my feelings about watches. Again, I think that's where I can add value. I think watch reviews that a lot of people do, actually, I don't think they tell people much. They tend to be superficial run-throughs of spec sheets and sort of telling you things which are fairly evident from what you could have gleaned yourself from a watch website. So I've kind of stopped doing that, and I've gone to these why this watch, and I'm going to start doing some watch critiques sooner or later when I finally do one I'm happy with before I put it out to the world. So changing the way that goes. What else? So that'd be watch media, watch news, watch reviews. The other thing is I'm getting more confident. So I'm doing far less scripting. I have like a page of notes normally, which, as in headers that I'll put up behind the camera, and then I just talk. And one of the things I've found is if I do that, the videos are getting a lot shorter. So I'm concentrating on doing the videos shorter, sharper, and just me talking. So I don't script anything anymore. If you go back and look at my very first videos, you would have seen these long, in the notes, I actually put the notes I used. They was long, dense wads of text. I don't have that anymore. It's much more spontaneous. I think I enjoy doing it a lot more. I hope you enjoy hearing it a lot more. So they're the changes I've made, and I'm just going to keep doing that. That's the direction of the channel for the next little while. Some topics I'm thinking about doing coming up is I'm going to continue sort of the level 2 classes on watch collecting. So that's a couple of videos I'm thinking of putting together. I want to put together a video on patina and my thoughts around that. I want to put a video together in the next couple of weeks about what I guess, it's only a guess, but what I guess the impacts of COVID are going to be on the watch community moving forward. I want to put a video out about how things are much more opaque in the watch industry than we think they are. We think we know what's going on, and I don't think I do, but I think I know enough to know that I'm not as confident as I think some of you are, that you know what in-house means, and you know who is making something, and you know where something is coming from. I've got enough evidence now that we have no idea, and I'm going to do a video talking about how there's this cloak of secrecy over a part of the industry that we either don't know is there or pretend isn't, about watch movements and where they come from, and how these shadowy third-party white-tail providers work. I'd love to get some more insight into that, and I'm going to try, but probably in the first case I'm just going to talk about how this shadow realm even exists. What are some of the other topics I've got coming? I'm going to do quite a few more. I did a review, I did a video talking about my thoughts about Bremont, the brand, in response to a question. The last time I did this, I actually quite enjoyed that. You guys seem to enjoy it. I'm going to do that more often. I'm just going to do some thoughts on a brand. I'm not going to do brand histories or anything like that. Again, you guys can look that up, but it's really, how do I feel about these brands, and why do I feel that way? And so I'm going to look at some of the brands I'm really hot on, that I really like Fortis and Mueller-Glasuta and Alpina and probably Breitling, I think now. And I'll do some ones about brands I don't connect with, like Rolex, maybe Tudor, and brands which I watch, but I don't have any strong feelings about, like Omega. I think sometimes they're the most interesting videos, the ones where you don't have a really strong emotional response, and that so you've got nothing but kind of an intellectual position. That's kind of interesting. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking of doing. If you've got suggestions, if you've got things I'd like to cover, or even if they're not questions, but you just want to ask me to go in a certain direction or think about certain things, stick them in the comments below. And as I said, I'll see you again later. I've been Pete McConville. This has been Not So Obvious Watches, and bye.